Hello and welcome to Adobe Live and to our new time for our Adobe Express stream, which is now at 12 p.m. UK time on a Monday. So nice to see so many people in the chat already. So I'm just going to have a quick look and see who's here and say hello. We've got Gareth, Angus, Oliver, Sean, Vicky, Caroline, Tim. Lovely to have you all with me today. And we are going to be working on a weekly planner. So if you got all those January vibes and you're thinking, I want to get myself organized, I want to make some nice stationery for my desk, then this is going to be the stream for you. So we are in Adobe Express today. So I'm just going to head over there and get started with this project. Let me know in the chat if any of you joined for our mega 3 days of masterclass last week with Tony, which was really fun. And I'll just get going. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start off with custom size graphic. So I'm going to make an A4 planner, but you could make this whatever size you wanted. You could have a smaller A5 version. Maybe if you're in the US, you might want a letter size version. I'm going to print mine at home, so I'm going for A4. Now, if you go into print, you'll see it's got all the sizes for you. It's got A4 here, portrait, but I want mine to be landscape. It could totally work portrait as well, but we'll start landscape today. So it's 297 by 210. So I'm just going to go into custom and make it 297 by 210. Now, as always, there are lots of templates on Adobe Express. So if you didn't want to start from scratch, you could go and find one of their templates. There's weekly planner templates in there, and you could use that as your starting place and then customize it. But we're going to start from scratch today. And I want to make something that is a bit bright, or not super bright, but just like fun and friendly, something that's going to look nice on my desk. Let's just have a look and see what everyone's saying in the chat. So Oliver joined the first two streams, but not watched the third one yet. The third one was my favorite because I am learning After Effects. So I was really excited to watch Tony do all that in After Effects. Angus says he watched the last two and it was very moving. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Right, so what I'm going to start off with is my background, and I'm going to head to surprise backgrounds. So there's so many different options on here. I sometimes find it hard to choose, but I did have a look earlier and I found a really good one under patterns. Oh, I've just seen these cute illustrations. I'm always finding new things that I want to use in designs on Adobe Express. So I'm going to type in pattern. Just because that's where I found this background earlier. I think it was quite far down. There's so many different options. If you have got like a business, you could make sort of on-brand weekly planners. So you could, maybe you've got some designs that you already use that you could put in the background. I'm going to go for this sort of like pinky blue gradient, I think. But yeah, so you could make planners for your team that were all on brand. They could be personalized. There's like no end of options that you could do. So first up, so I think what I'm going to do now, the beauty of this is that you can lay it out in a way that's going to work best for you. So I am going to do the days of the week, but I also want to have a note section on the side because I always need extra space, or maybe something comes up that doesn't fit neatly in a day of the week category. So that's how I'm going to design mine, but you can do it however you want. So I think I'm going to go for one of these sort of rounded corner boxes, and then I'm just going to obviously not stick with these colors because they don't really go with the background, but I'm just going to sort of get the shape how I want it. I'm going to make the fill white just so that it's sort of easier to print. You might decide as well that you want to have the background, that you want to keep all of it pretty sort of sparse so that it's easier to print. But I tried printing this background earlier and it worked really well on my printer. So I'm going to go with that. For the border, I'm just going to use the eyedropper tool and I'm just going to get one of the colors from the background. Actually, you know what I might do is go for, if you go for a black, because actually that might stand out. I'm kind of obsessed with monochrome and then bright colors at the moment, so that's what I'm gonna go for. That's what we did last week as well. We had monochrome and then lots of bright colors, which was really fun. This is more of a sort of pastel, dreamy feel. So let's just get the boxes how I want them. Might just bring that up a little bit. Now, one of my bad habits is making ridiculously long to-do lists for each day that are just not at all achievable. So I'm making my boxes not too big. I'm going to try and limit myself to 5 things on my to-do list each day, which I think, yeah, is a bit more manageable. So that's why I'm making the boxes like this. If I decided not to have a background, I could I could have a lot more space to play with. I could play around with this, but 5 things seems like a good number for me. I don't know if anyone else has this bad habit of just creating ridiculously long to-do lists. Sometimes I add things to my to-do list just so that I can cross them off and feel good about myself, even though I've already done them. Let me know in the chat if you already use a weekly planner. Is it something that you have on your desk? How do you keep your to-do lists organized? I would love to know. I'm a bit of a I like a combo. I definitely have to have some digital lists on the go, but I just think there's nothing quite like crossing things off a physical paper to-do list. Now, I am going to be attaching my planner to a clipboard that I got, and it's going to have a clip on this left-hand side. So I'm just leaving a little bit extra space there. But again, you don't need to do that. That's just for my sort of particular setup. Now, what I'm going to do is just head over to Adobe Fonts and have a look and find a font that I want to use. I sometimes find this quicker than just scrolling through like the list directly in Adobe Express. And I also like that I can filter them here. So let's just have a look at Funky and see what we find. This is where we were having a look last week as well. In fact, I might use, let me see if I can find it. I think there was one, Juniper. I think I might use Juniper. Now, if you haven't seen this already, if I click on Juniper, then a nice little feature is that you can go down and it'll bring up popular Adobe Express templates that use Juniper. And so if you wanted to, you could just click open in Adobe Express and it'll open up this template and you can start from there. But what I'm going to do is just head back over here, add my text. Let me just see what everyone's saying about their to-do lists. Oliver just adds things and never crosses them off. Fair play. Sandrine creates long to-do lists and then splits them into manageable chunks. That sounds very wise. That's the bit that I haven't quite mastered. Yes, Sandrine says, fill the list with stuff like email so-and-so, email Mrs. X, easy to cross, takes 5 minutes, makes you warm inside. That is 100% my philosophy. Put on the easy tasks as well. Anna gets really into planning for like a while and then totally abandons it again. And Angus is often ruled by lists created by others. Yeah, true. Sandrine's got all her business things on Trello. Nice. Yeah, Trello is a good tool to use. I also have really been getting into Notion recently, which is quite fun. I feel like my sort of planning system is always a work in progress. It's definitely always a mix of paper and digital. Like I can't just use one or the other. I have to have both. But I feel like I'm always sort of tweaking it and refining it when I give up on it and need to think of something new, a new way to manage stuff. I'm hoping that by having this planner, though, I won't have lots of scraps of paper all over the place, which is what I often do. Makes my desk a mess. But this way I can clip them all onto my clipboard that I've got and, yeah, do it like that. Oh, Doris likes to live without a plan. Love it. Living on the wild side. Oh, Nina's got a Notion to-do list that is divided into today, next, when there is time, and done. Oh, I love that. Yeah. I have to have not yet list. So for all the ideas that I have that I just don't have time to think about or work on, I kind of just need to get them out of my head. And so I put them on my not yet list, and that is really helpful. But I definitely need to like come up with a system of keeping all of my lists in one place. So I'm hoping that this planner is going to be the winner. Ooh. So I'm just putting in the days of the week. And obviously you can set this up. So I've left a box for all the weekdays. Hang on, I'm gonna forget how to spell Wednesday. All the weekdays, and then I've got a box for the weekend. I'm just gonna have a joint box for the weekend. But say maybe, you know, maybe you will do more work on the weekend, and so it makes sense to have a Saturday and Sunday box. This will sort of work however you want to set it up. Right, so, I keep pasting the day into the text box instead of the, come on, there we go. So I'm just going to put weekend over here. I feel like this is going to add a bit of this sort of background, and this design is going to add a little bit of joy to my desk already. So here I'm going to put notes. And so this is just going to be for anything, anything miscellaneous that comes up, you know, that I don't want to have on a day of the week list. And then another thing that you could think about is, so I'm just going to print these off at home as I need them on my home printer, but you could create a design that you wanted and send them to a printer to get printed, and which means that you could probably, you know, do whatever size. So if you wanted to have a big desk planner, you could print this at a bigger size, like A3. Just remember that when you are creating your custom size dimensions to add bleed for when you send it to the printer. Usually, well, the printers I work with all seem to want 3mm bleed, but you can check in with whatever printer you're planning to use and find out. Right, so I'm just going to go back into shapes and have a quick look at the chat. Oliver's to-do list is more places to visit list. Oh, nice. Yes, I did that with the kids the other day. It made a places to visit list. And it got me really excited for traveling again. It was a long to-do list. There's a lot of places I want to go. What's at the top of your places to visit, Oliver? Let us know in the chat. Sandrine has a request. If someone from Adobe Express is listening, make 2 options for resizing. Resize and remix the current size and resize without changing the design. Yeah, that's nice. There is a website where you can put in your requests. So I think it's always worth putting them in there, because the more people that request the same feature, the more likely it's going to happen. So probably with a bit of Googling, or Tim might be able to put in the chat what the page is. And you can add that request in. And guides too. Yes. Good shout, Sandrine. Oh, Anna likes the colors. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. So what I'm going to do now is just add some lines to my boxes. Again, it kind of depends what your preference are with this. You might just like to have an empty box that you can sort of doodle in however you want, or lines might help you. I'm going to put lines in to limit myself on how many things I can add to each box, because as we've established, that is my problem. So I think I'm going to limit myself to 5 things. Maybe 3 is more realistic, but we'll go with 5 for now. So I'm just going to add all the lines in. And then what I'm going to do is select them all. Then I'm going to use the little tools over here just to make sure they're like lined up nicely. And then I'm going to group them. And then I'm just going to copy and paste those over to each of the boxes. And what I will do afterwards is at the end, I'll save this as a template that we can then hopefully put under the YouTube replay. And then if anybody wants to use this, they can, which is another thing that I love about Adobe Express, is that you can create templates and share them. So I use this all the time for like clients. I create designs based on the branding that I've made for them. And then I can just share a folder of templates with them that they can then easily use. You could also sell them. I saw Annika, who hosts on Adobe Live, she did a really great reel the other day about, that's a weird glitch. I'll just leave that space blank for now. So she did a really good reel about how you could make templates and sell them on Etsy, which is a really cool idea. Cool. So that is our planner. I'm going to make another one and go for a very different style. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the page so that I don't have to start from scratch. And I'm going to change the background. I'm going to get rid of the lines because I'm going to do a version that doesn't have lines, and then I can try both and see what I prefer. And then I think I'm going to go for a bit more of a monochrome version for anyone who might prefer sort of a more muted look. So it's so nice how easy it is to just quickly switch things out. So let's have a look in trending backgrounds and see what we can find. There's so many cool patterns in here. So I actually think this one could work quite well, or maybe the flowers. Let's try that one. So you can either add it as an image if you want to be able to move it around, add as a grid, but I'm going to just replace the background because I want it to go in the background. And then I'm just going to start adjusting my design. I think for this one, I'm just going to delete all of these boxes and create those again to get them how I want it, but I'm going to leave all the words in just so that I don't have to write those all out again. So I'm going to go into shapes and I'm going to go, no, I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go for a more angular shape. And then again, what I'll do is I will just eyedropper the background. And then for the fill, I'm just going to make it black. And then you can just adjust over here how thick you want the border to be. Yeah, so let's just get that in place. I actually think this this juniper font works quite well with this sort of style. I don't know, would you call it like an Art Deco style? It looks a bit Art Deco, doesn't it? Caroline says, I was looking at templates on Etsy yesterday. They vary so much in price and quality, but was surprised how many there were. Yeah, I think a lot of people sell digital templates. I guess it's that kind of thing that once you've created the design, you can sort of set it up and you don't have to do anything else because people just automatically get delivered the digital product, which is, yeah, handy. But yeah, there's always going to be a wide variety of price and quality. But you could definitely, you should definitely go and have a look at Annika's reel. You could create some fun templates in Adobe Express and put them on there. Nice. Okay. I reckon I'll be able to make quite a few planners which is fun. Ooh. I'd love to know. I wonder if I think some people are really good at not working on the weekends. I haven't quite mastered that yet, but it's something that I'm working towards. Sometimes it's quite nice on a Sunday evening though to, make your I can totally imagine using this in that I would like make my to-do list for the week on a Sunday evening so that everything is ready and I feel ready. What I'm going to do here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is add in a solid rectangle, and it's already brought it in black, which is great. And I'm going to put it down here. Now, this is not very printer friendly, so I would probably only do this if I was sending this to an external printer. Maybe it's only a small box, maybe it would do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little inspiring quote in here for my week. I haven't actually looked one up, so I have to think of one in a second. But if anyone's got any inspiring quotes that they think would go well on a planner, stick it in the chat. Someone have a Google for me, and I will and I'll add it in. Let me bring this down. I'm going to make it the cream color. Bring it into the back box. I think I am going to change the font though. Let's have a look. Tim. Perfect. Okay, Tim's got a funny Pink Panther one. Sandrine's got perfect is the enemy of done. That is great. I love that. Perfect is the enemy of done. I like the idea that I could sort of change the inspiring quote for each week, depending on what mood I was in, basically. Right, let's have a look. Oh, this is nice. Harmon. I'm going to go for Harmon Sans Regular. Put that in here, and then I'm just going to change all of these to Harmon Sans Regular. Oh, Nina had the same one. Well, Nina had done is better than perfect. Love it. Everyone's obviously got the same thought in mind at the moment. I think that is always a very good reminder. Sometimes we just hold ourselves back from getting things done because if you wait for things to be perfect, it's probably never going to happen. I've definitely been trying to embrace that philosophy. Oh, is it gonna? There we go. Oh, no. It's just having a little moment. Now I just need to sort out the title. Let me see what I'm going to do. Shall I go for Harmon, or let's see if there's... Ooh, oh, I'm going for that. I like that. And then what I'm going to do is just create a box in the same color as the background, just to put behind it so that we can actually read the text, but not lose all of the pattern. Sandrine's got another good quote. I'm going to make a note of these afterwards and then add them to my to-do list. Sandrine's got a quote that says, graphic design will save the world right after rock and roll does, from David Carson. Nice. Yeah. So much potential for all the inspiring quotes on the planner. Right, let me just find that block so that I can drag it right to the back. I want it to go in there. Nice. So there we have the weekly planner. And we've got our quote there, and then you could easily just duplicate this and add a new quote in, or just update it each week as you need and print it off. I'm not going to add lines to this one. Another thing that you could do is if you wanted, it depends if you're a crosser off of things or a ticker of things. So if you are a ticker of things, like you might want to add a square or a circle that you could then tick off. The only issue that I was having was that that is the smallest that the circle will go to. So it kind of depends on your design. But yeah, you could have circles then that you tick, and then you write your thing, write your thing to do after the circle. But yeah, so there we have got our two planners we've made, quite different feels. And then I can just print these off and start using them straight away. Nina says, I'm a hopeless perfectionist, so this hangs next to my desk. Yes, I love that. I post a picture on social media, Nina. I want to see if it's like a nice print or something. I definitely need to have something like that hanging next to my desk. What I'm going to do now is just save the name. So I'm just going to call it Liz Weekly Planner. This is the bit I always forget to do. And so then I have a million files on my desktop that are like untitled, which is not good. I'm going to go to share. Just give it a second to save my project. I'm going to make this a template. I'm going to call it Weekly Planner. And then I'm going to save it to the Adobe Live folder that I've made. And then after the stream, yeah, we'll put it in the chat on the YouTube video. And so you can all use it. And the confetti's back, and it has congratulated me on my first project, which we all know that this is not my first project. Anyway, that is us done for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have fun creating your own weekly planner. If you want to stick around and learn some more, at 2 p.m. UK time today, Robert Renitsky is going to be doing an introduction to After Effects, which, as we all know, I'm very excited about because I'm learning After Effects at the moment. So I will be checking that out. So yeah, stick around and join Robert at 2 p.m. And I will be back again next Monday with my Express stream at 12 p.m. And we'll be working on some more creative projects. And yeah, thanks so much for joining me. And I hope you have a really great week.